This is the story of Bluey, the tiny Chihuahua, who somehow learned to howl like a husky and quietly became the gentlest heart in our home. People always laugh the first time they hear him. They'll look around confused and say, wait, that sound is coming from him? Because when most people picture a Chihuahua, they picture a tiny dog with a big attitude, loud, nervous, maybe even a little aggressive. Nobody expects this tiny little guy to throw his head back and howl like he belongs in a sled team. But Bluey never really cared about what people expected from him. The truth is, he only started howling because he wanted to be close to his older brother. Our older dog is half Husky, and from the very beginning, Bluey followed him everywhere, watched everything he did, learned his routines, his sounds, his little habits. And one day, when his older brother started howling, Bluey joined in too. At first, it was awkward and tiny and honestly kind of hilarious, but after that, every time the big dog howled, Bluey would answer right back like it was the most natural thing in the world. And somehow, that just became part of who he was. Around strangers, Bluey is actually very shy. Most people never get to see his real personality. He'll stay quiet, keep close to us, and watch everything carefully from a safe distance. But when it's just family at home, that's when the real Bluey comes out. Suddenly, he becomes this loud, dramatic little character with opinions about everything. If a siren goes by outside, he howls. If the older dog barks, he joins immediately. If somebody accidentally makes a sound that even remotely resembles a howl, Bluey feels personally responsible for participating. And honestly, the house can get pretty noisy. Sometimes we'll laugh and go, okay, Bluey, that's enough. And every single time he makes this sad little shocked face like we just deeply offended him. It's impossible not to laugh. But underneath all the funny stuff, Bluey has this unbelievably soft heart. I've fostered animals before, dogs, cats, all kinds of personalities over the years. Some were difficult. Some were distant. Some took months before they trusted people. But Bluey came into our lives already loving the world. And I still don't fully understand how such a tiny dog can carry so much gentleness inside him. He doesn't really like conflict. He doesn't bark to be mean. Half the time he only barks because his older brother does, and he wants to feel included. Even with cuddling, it's honestly heartbreaking sometimes. Our big dog isn't very affectionate. He'll tolerate Bluey for a little while, then eventually scoot away or gently push him off, but Bluey never stops trying. He'll curl himself into the bigger dog's fur anyway, determined to stay close for just a few more seconds, like love matters more to him than rejection ever could. And maybe that's part of why people fall in love with him so quickly. One thing that really surprised me about Bluey is how emotionally aware he is. You start noticing it during quiet moments. Like on stressful days, when you're trying to hold yourself together and not really talking much, somehow he always notices. The other day, I was overwhelmed and anxious about 100 different things. I sat down on the couch for maybe 2 minutes, just trying to breathe for a second, and Bluey slowly climbed onto my shoulder, not my lap, my shoulder. Then he put one tiny paw against me and just stayed there quietly. No barking, no excitement, just there. And I remember thinking, how do you know? How does this tiny little creature somehow understand exactly when somebody needs comfort?
Ooh.
I I know some people hear stories like that and think owners are imagining things, but people who truly love animals know what I mean. Sometimes they really do sense our emotions before anyone else does. We've taken Bluey on long road trips before 8 hours at a time sometimes, and he's always the easiest little traveler. He curls up, falls asleep, and trusts us completely. And every now and then during those quiet drives, I'll look over at him sleeping and think about how easy it would have been for somebody to overlook him. Because small dogs get judged a lot, especially Chihuahuas. People assume they're aggressive or annoying or difficult before they even meet them. And honestly, I used to believe some of that too before Bluey came into my life. But Bluey changed my perspective completely. He's patient, sensitive, gentle, loving in a way that feels almost human sometimes. He just wants to be close to the people he loves. And maybe that's why his story matters. I think when people talk about adopting animals, they sometimes focus too much on appearances or breed stereotypes. They imagine the perfect dog before they ever meet the actual animal. But the truth is, some of the best companions come in packages you never expected. Sometimes it's the nervous senior dog nobody notices. Sometimes it's the big intimidating dog who turns out to be terrified of thunderstorms. And sometimes it's a tiny Chihuahua who learned to howl because he loved his brother so much that he wanted to sound like him. If you're ever thinking about adopting an animal, try to look beyond the first impression. Spend time with them, let them show you who they really are. The quiet ones, the older ones, the misunderstood ones, they often have the biggest hearts. And once they trust you, they don't just become pets. They become part of your life in ways you never really expect. Bluey may be tiny, but this little dog filled our home with more love than I ever thought something so small could carry.